If there is one thing that Donald Trump loves to do, it is to make a bad day even worse. And that is exactly what just happened when he decided to attack his own crowd in Michigan. Yes, people who have been devastated by Donald Trump's economic policy gathered in a room for him to tout his fake economic numbers, only for him to then attack them personally. It was a meltdown that was made even worse by the fact that Donald Trump was caught on a hot mic right beforehand. We're going to get into all of it, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Today, Donald Trump was in Michigan for a couple of reasons. One was to attack his own crowd in a bizarre speech, and the other was to tour a Ford plant. Right outside of it, before he got started with a speech that was essentially him collapsing in real time, he said this about Thom Tillis and Jerome Powell.
Senator Thom Tillis says that the subpoena, the grand jury subpoena to the Federal Reserve Chairman was a little excessive. What do you think about that?
Well, that's why Tom's not going to be a senator any longer, I guess, right?
Well, what do you think?
But I like Thom Tillis. He's a nice guy. But look, he's not going to be a senator any longer because of views like that. We have a bad Fed chairman. He's bad in a lot of different ways, but he's bad because his interest rates were too high. And today we had a great inflation report. And today we had a really great growth report. So we have great growth and low inflation. And we're doing very well.
Do you think there's going to be a rate cut, though?
Yes, Thom Tillis won't be a senator anymore, and he's going to be replaced by Roy Cooper. Great job, Donald. You helped us flip the Senate seat in North Carolina. Congratulations. Is that supposed to be a win? And then I love how he immediately pivots to Roy. Well, I love Tom, though. He's like, he's a great guy and he likes me. No, he doesn't like you. He actually really doesn't like you. And that's pretty much everything he's been talking about lately. But then Donald Trump's response to the question, do you think your political persecution of Jerome Powell has gone too far, is just no. And then he goes on about how the senators who are saying that, he's going to make sure they don't get elected again because he goes after his political opponents. It's like, yeah, I think we kind of already know these things. You've made it clear. But what was also clear is that Donald Trump was really off today, off his rocker, on something, or just completely messed up. That was obvious in his very angry speech, which of course started and ended, but most importantly began with him talking about himself.
We won everything. We won all 7 swing states. We won the Electoral College 312 to 226. We won the popular vote by millions and millions of, oh, it's so nice to win the popular vote. I won the popular vote all 3 times too, but we're not going to get into that. But the first time they said I didn't win the popular vote, but I won the Electoral College. So they always said, while he didn't win, this is the way I got introduced every time. While he didn't win the popular vote, he won the Electoral College, you know. So this is the way I was introduced for 4 years. And guess what? We said, I'm going back, we're going to win and we won the popular vote by a lot, so they can't say that crap anymore.
Ah, yes, Donald. All 3 times you won the popular vote, including the first time when you lost it by 3 million votes and the second time when you lost it by almost 7 million votes. You won it all 3 times, sure. The theme of this speech today was exactly what you would expect from Donald Trump talking about economic policy, fake numbers. Before he even started attacking his own crowd, it was fake number time. You could see it clearly when he began talking about what may have been the biggest scam of his entire administration, a scheme so blatant that even Marjorie Taylor Greene called it a scam, his foreign policy, based on what he said next.
In 4 years of Biden, they secured less than $1 trillion of new investment in the United States. So 4 years, less than $1 trillion. In less than 1 year, I have secured commitments for over $18 trillion from all over the world, the most ever for any country.
Okay, on the foreign investment supposedly coming in that is tied to tariff deals that don't actually exist, it's laughable. But it also makes me think of something every single time, and you probably remember this. Remember Donald Trump in the White House sitting with all his billionaire tech friends, all the guys he claims to rail against as the elites, the ones supposedly suppressing your speech, or at least the previous version of Donald Trump did. They never believed any of this. Meanwhile, conservatives are out there saying Bill Gates is putting microchips in you, yet he was at the White House. They say Mark Zuckerberg is a lizard. Who knows? Maybe he is. But he was at the White House, too. And Trump gets Zuck to say, well, you're making this $800 billion investment, Meta, right? And Zuckerberg's like, yeah, sure. Then they catch him on a hot mic afterward, basically saying, I don't know, we're not doing that. We're not making that investment. It's a fake number. Donald Trump is just talking about fake numbers. There's nothing substantial here. It's all just fake numbers meant to placate people who want to praise him but can't even manage to do so because he's busy attacking them.
It's never been, we're not 12 months, we're through 11 months. We've got $18 trillion being invested in our country. The most of any country ever was 3. We're at 18. There's never been anything like this. You are so lucky I allow you into this room to even be with me. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The fake news will say Donald Trump thinks he's hot stuff. Right now I'm feeling pretty good, though, I will say. Oh, you're so lucky to be here.
Trump does this so often. He'll say something outrageous and then immediately follow it with, well, I didn't mean it, and complain that the media is going to quote him on it. Donald Trump will literally say, I don't like you, you're lucky to be around me, and I think you're all trash, and then turn around and say, well, the media is going to take that out of context. What context? You're attacking your own supporters. This has been true about Donald Trump for a very long time. And if you're MAGA, among all the other reasons you're voting against your own interests, this is the part I truly can't understand. These people have such open disdain for you. Donald Trump thinks you're stupid. Why do you think he's ripped you off to the tune of billions of dollars in campaign cash that he's used for his own personal pursuits and all the grifting, the watches, the Bibles, the shoes, everything? He doesn't just think you're stupid, he thinks you're dumb, and he attacks you. He really does. But what's so funny about Donald Trump thinking his supporters are dumb? Pot, meet kettle. Listen to him on the hot mic right here.
Well, we brought trucks back now. Do you do trucks in this factory or a different factory?
Well, we do the F-150 here, and then
But those are the mid-size,
the
and
bigger
big
ones.
When do you do the big ones?
Well, we do them in Louisville.
Are they very big ones or big?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, they're,
big one, all the way to 650.
yeah, they're not.
250
They're,
to 650.
you saw an F.
Donald Trump, the so-called genius that he is, stands there while trucks are literally being assembled right in front of him and asks, well, do you make trucks here? We love the trucks. Are they big? Are they the big trucks with the big, where are the trucks? Are those trucks? What are trucks? He is so dumb. He is so stupid. You're at an automotive plant. Do you think they're assembling grapefruits? How is this man in charge? He is so unbelievably, comically stupid. And this is a stupid person attacking his own supporters for not being on his level while he makes up economic data right in front of their faces. I think this is an important insight because remember how I said a couple of days ago, maybe it was even yesterday, these days all blur together, that Susie Wiles, after that big Vanity Fair piece came out, sent Donald Trump out to talk about all the supposed great economic success in order to distract from the infighting inside the White House. Remember that? And remember how we talked about how that stopped because Donald Trump himself is a liability? This is the liability I'm talking about. He clearly feels very strongly that the economy is the biggest issue for him right now. And in many respects, he's right, which is exactly why he went on that unhinged tirade against Jerome Powell.
And if we don't raise interest rates every time good news is mentioned, in the old days, I'm probably old. I used to be up at these lecterns and I'd say, I'm younger than pretty much everybody in the room. Now I say I'm older than pretty much everybody in the room. I like it the other way better, actually. But you're too young. But in the old days, when you had good numbers, interest rates would go down. When you had good numbers, the market would go through the roof. That's the way we're going to make it again. That's the old-fashioned way. That's the right way. Today, if you announce great numbers, they raise interest rates to try and kill it. So you can never really have the kind of rally you should have. What happens and what we want, we're going to have a lot of great months, a lot of great quarters. I want the market to go up. You announce unbelievable numbers and the market goes down because they know you're going to do everything possible. In the Fed, we have a real stiff in the Fed, but that's for another day.
Yeah, man. By continuing to attack the very guy you're trying to pretend you're not going after for political purposes, you're really not making a great case that this isn't political. This whole thing is just so phony. The case we originally saw, pushed forward by Anna Paulina Luna, is that Jerome Powell supposedly misspoke about some infrastructure work that was done between 1999 and 2003. That's it. It's not like he installed a private bathtub in the middle of his office or brought in massage tables. He's not Pete Hegseth building a makeup studio. It's just so stupid. Sometimes I genuinely lack the words. I really do. But Donald Trump never does, and every word he has is bad, and it only got worse from there. The crowd grew more silent, more confused. Just listen to him talk about Minnesota.
Think of that, though. They did, and I'll tell you what, had she won, it would be a disaster because you would have people leave. You would have not had 1 trillion, you would have had 5 trillion, 10 trillion leaving the country, and your welfare would have doubled. When you look at what's going on in Minnesota, is that a disgrace? Is that a disgrace? But we'll talk about that under Biden.
Again, pot, meet, kettle. You are the dumbest president we have ever had, and you're standing there talking about fraud in Minnesota while ripping us all off to the tune of billions of dollars for yourself and your stooges through crypto schemes, through the government, through drone contracts for your sons. Donald Trump is the biggest fraudster we have ever seen in American history, and we should always treat that as the reality. This is projection at the highest level, and it's baked in with just a little bit of racism, because of course it is. And honestly, it's not playing very well right now. The crowd doesn't care. Listen to them. They glaze over. They fall asleep as Donald Trump drones on about tariffs.
Every prediction the critics made about our tariff policy has failed to materialize. The evidence shows overwhelmingly that the tariffs are not paid by American consumers, that they're paid by foreign nations and middlemen. And Scott went over that with us before, and they're paid by middlemen. They raise the thing. Countries get involved. They pay them because otherwise they won't have companies. They won't be viable. And we're the big beneficiary. Once again, the so-called experts were 100% wrong, and Trump was right. People of Michigan were 100% right. You elected the right guy. If you had the other person, everybody, we wouldn't even be having a meeting today, probably. There'd be no meeting. The Economic Club would be saying, like, man, we're doing bad. It's going to be awfully tough to get people to show up. This is going to be tough, the chairman. This is going to not be a good day for us. We don't want to have, let's cancel the meeting immediately. The Trump tariffs have delivered us trillions of dollars of new investment, unprecedented new partnerships on minerals, rare earths, defense, and artificial intelligence, and historic levels of foreign military.
He can't put together a coherent economic message, so they're going to keep sending him out on the road, and we're going to keep laughing at him, but it's not going to work. We have to be very aggressive in making sure Democrats offer a real alternative, one rooted in populist appeal and universality. We don't need to means test away benefits for the bottom 2 or 3%. No, populist appeal means being broad. Trump is doing the opposite. He's serving about 8 billionaires. We should be serving everybody. That's what our party should stand for. We're going to keep talking about that on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit the subscribe button and leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep fighting, y'all. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you.